Hello everybody and welcome to this episode of Did You Know? Today I want to talk to you about the order you should answer the questions in AQA English Language Paper 1 and Paper 2. Now, a lot of people have been sending me messages saying, look, we've got a certain amount of time to answer all these questions and look at the order of the marks awarded. Doesn't it make sense to answer the highest mark questions first? So in Paper 1, there are 5 questions worth 4, 8, 8, 20 and 40 marks. In Paper 2, 5 questions worth 4, 8, 12, 16 and 40 marks. And a lot of people are saying, well, shouldn't I just start with the 40 mark question and then maybe go to the 20 mark question and work backwards so that if I run out of time, I'm actually sort of only suffering on the lower mark questions? Well, there are 2 different approaches to this, but the simple answer is no. The exam papers have been specifically written in such a way that you should tackle the questions from 1 through to 5 in order. But having said that, that means you've got to be really on top of your timing. So for example, Paper 1, Question 2, the language analysis question, and Question 3, the structure analysis question, are both questions that you could easily write for half an hour on each, but they're only worth 8 marks. So a simple analysis of time is this. They expect you to spend 15 minutes reading the sources and the questions. That then leaves you 90 minutes to achieve 80 marks in both papers, both the same timing, an hour and 45 minutes for the paper. So you should spend around maybe 1.5 minutes per mark available. That's a rough guide. So roughly speaking, on a 4 mark question, you want to spend sort of 4 or 5 minutes. 8 marks, 8 or 10 minutes, that kind of thing. It's really important that you manage your timing, because particularly I think on Paper 1, Question 2 and 3, it's very easy to go over. Okay, and similarly, actually, if we look at Paper 2, I think that Question 3 is a lot more complex than maybe you should spend 15 minutes on. So it's very easy to go over time. So you've got to manage your timing around 1 minute per mark available. But why should you take the questions in order? Well, in Paper 1 in particular, each question builds on the previous question. So Paper 1, Question 1 is going to direct you to a short part of the text, perhaps lines 1 to 7. Question 2 will direct you to the next part of the text, perhaps lines 5 to 15, and then Question 3, the whole source. So the idea is that when you answer Question 1, you read that section, you think about it. When you answer Question 2, you read the next section and think about it. And then when you get to Question 3, you've already read those 2 sections of the text and thought about them, and then you just look at the rest of the text. So the idea is it has a sort of cumulative effect. And similarly, in Question 5, you're actually then going to be given an opportunity to ideally use the skills that you've assessed in Questions 1 to 4. And there'll also be a thematic link as well between the questions in Question 5 and what you've actually read about and analysed in Questions 1 to 4. Paper 2 is pretty much the same. Question 1 is going to direct you to a specific part of the text, perhaps lines 1 to 15. Question 2 is then going to be the whole source. It's going to build up to Question 5, which will be a question based on the same topic as you've been reading about in your answers to Question 1 to 4. So the simple answer is answer the questions in chronological order, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but manage your timing really well. 1 minute or maybe a tiny bit more than 1 minute per mark available. Be aware that it will be very easy to spend too long on certain questions, but you have to be very strict with yourself.